You can start as a pure man of God and you can become a merchant of darkness just because you moved into a city that you did not know. So that you can come and say, I used to be prayerful, but when I moved into this hostel, prayer just boom went out. Sometimes it's not that you are not willing, it's that hostel has been designed for no prayer. It's the environment that is acting on you. And there are two instructions that we give such people. I'm speaking to a particular person. One of the cheapest ways to win is to move out if you cannot fight. The man that is not in church, his fiancé, Minister Nkechi, Pastor Lamide was in church that day. I preached the sermon, The Weight of a Generation, in Adenike, Lesbura Hall. I think it was Kende Lawal that time that started leading praise and worship. All of a sudden, her face went pale and she gently dropped the microphone and ran. You know, we that are singing, we used to back the door. They that are leading, they can see the door. So I now said, Nkechi, you now heavyweight now, go there. And then my daughter started shedding tears. Her face went pale too. She dropped the microphone. So I went up there. We cancelled every other thing we needed to do, and I attempted to start my sermon immediately. It took me about 15 to 20 minutes of prayer before the atmosphere shifted. So my mom now called me when I got home. She said, son, the building you are using is like a cream building. The inside is green. I said, yes. Say you're upstairs. I said, yes. Say there's a shrine in front of you, and that one of the entities in that shrine has the looks of a masquerade. That masquerade visited your service this evening. The masquerade stood on the ground, but he became visible. And those who saw the appearance of it took off. May God give you eyes. Lamde, have they built anything around that place? Okay, they built now. Hostel. May God give you understanding. Okay, so what I just mean is, you leave or you can ask for reinforcement. So I went to the Lord that night and said, what do we do? The Lord said, you will move to Ondaji, but you will now go back and do an invasion in Adenike. You remember that meeting? We used to call it Lautech Fresh Fire Conference. So we held it in Adenike. The church that hosted us, the pastors ran away. I mean, after the meeting, both of them were married, their families were broken, both of them. I think one lost his wife, the other one, it was the wife that drove the pastor away. I remember that even the pastor, after that meeting for hosting us, some people met him, 6 individuals met him and gave him the date he was going to die. It was November 18 that year. And then he called me and said, see, I'll come and be living in your house. I said, don't come to my house, but you will not die. I said, sleep is between me and them. And I remember that morning, the morning of that November 18th, he called me at 7 a.m. The firstborn of the person who led that party to him died in Lagos. About 5 of them lost their firstborns. Maybe to show that God threatens people with firstborn. So everything now settled. I now told him, you can't sit on the first row. Once you have dead bodies attached to you like that, you have to come inside. But they wanted flair more than hard work. They were praying too much.